God, I love nuts. They're wonderful things. Hey guys, how we doing? Wow. So I have 109 subscribers all of a sudden. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And during this process where I started showing off our growth in our garden this year, well, starting in October last year, I wanted to, sorry about the noise. Why do they start now? Okay, so during this process I wanted to find out myself in this journey what I wanted to do. Guys, I live in New York, there's going to be noise, I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. Okay. And what I've discovered through an accident of an experiment where the idea was put in my head by another crazy YouTuber who I adore, and I want a nut farm. I want a nut farm. I want to grow nuts. I want to grow all sorts of nuts, not just, you know, walnuts or hazelnuts. I want to grow all sorts of nuts, not just nuts. I want to have an orchard. I want to have a fruiting orchard full of all kinds of fruit. So the olive's fallen over again. Oh my god, the thing is drunk, I swear. Hang on a second. But more than that, I want to make it a market garden. I want to have a market garden where we're growing all kinds of vegetables, all kinds of soft fruit, all kinds of, have a massive orchard and a massive nut orchard. Nut forest. All my life I have worked and researched and worked with people who didn't have enough to eat. People who didn't know how to grow their own gardens. People who didn't know how to cook. People, you know, who just needed someone to point them in the right direction. And that's what I want to do. I want my farm, I want my nut farm, my orchard and my market garden to be a place where people can come and learn, where they can come and volunteer some of their time, and for that time they get to take a week's worth of food with them back. That's what I want to do, because I think that's what we should be doing. Those who have need to share with those who haven't. And if you've got the skills, you need to be sharing those skills. And teaching. Over the last, probably say since the 1980s, probably, yeah, I would say since the 1980s was the last bunch of kids that came through when mum was at home still. You know, mum was at home mostly, you know. It was cooking, it was cleaning, it was showing them what to do and learning. Then all of a sudden the kids weren't allowed to do chores anymore for their pocket money. And then they stopped learning. Mum had to go out to work because they couldn't keep up with the mortgage, because mortgages were getting more expensive, rents were getting more expensive, everything, all the prices started going up, which had an impact on who stayed home and who couldn't. And of course that impacts on the quality of food. what people are able to do and what they're not allowed to do, what they can't do, what they haven't got time for anymore, because they're so exhausted from doing all the things that they used to do before they had to work as well on top of it, keep a full-time job going. My parents bought their house. It was in the posh area of Canberra, brand new, and it was on a quarter acre block. It's 4-bedroom, massive place, 1.5 garage underneath, plus what was called the rumpus room, which was actually my grandmother's room, which had a utility room next to it and another bathroom, shower room. They bought that for £5,000, because that was before they went to decimal and dollars and stuff. 5,000. When it sold for 750,000. If you think about that, they'd only bought that in the late 60s when it was brand new. And you think about that level of inflation, it's absolutely, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to lie, it's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. But it's no wonder people can't afford land, and they can't afford to feed their families. You know, £20 worth of groceries now, that used to be fill up our trolley. And that wasn't that long ago. I feel like I'm 80 having this conversation, but it's not. It's greed. Supermarkets were never on the public companies, you know, on the stock market. When was supermarkets ever on the stock market? It's all instead of supermarkets always used to be about feeding people, looking after people, knowing your customer. When they were corner shops, that wasn't that long ago. My mum wouldn't step foot in a supermarket, not for years, let alone a shopping mall. Oh my god, should have heard her going on about shopping malls until she got really old, and then it was like, we're going to the mall. Why? Because it's air conditioned. It wasn't because she wanted to buy anything, it's because it had air conditioning. I think we need to start to look at grassroots again, and I think it's going to be really important to do this. I mean, I've just been looking at numbers and stuff right now, and I've just had Tanny laugh in my face. He just sat there and hysterically laughed, because I've been doing some research on land and house things, because, you know, as much as we would love to build our own house, Tanny can't do it, I can't do it. We've got to be reasonable here. So even if we bought a fixer-upper on 5 acres, we're looking at £750,000 or £650,000. That's a lot of money, especially when you're on disability payments. I'm not kidding. Our income is £7,000 a year. That's our income, and that's the income for a lot of people, let's be honest. So the ability to buy a place is like, what do we do? Well, I've worked out, okay, to buy this piece of land, to buy a 5-acre piece of land with a 4-bedroom house on it, because a lot, let's be fair, farmhouses are huge, right? Up here in Yorkshire, 650,000. My trees, once they get to a foot tall, let's say a foot, because I want them, once they're a foot, they can go to their new homes, because they're fairly hardy at that point. I'd have to sell 32,500 of them. And no matter whether we're living here or we're living in a new place, I'm not quite sure if we're ever going to have enough room to sell 32,500 plants. But I'm not going to let it stop me, because this is our dream. Tammy wants to live in the middle of nowhere, away from people. I want to live in the middle of nowhere, away from people. But I want this farm, and I want to be able to help people, and I want to be able to teach them. I mean, I do what I can now here, but and people say, you know, oh, but you could do this and you do that and what have you, but for the next couple of minutes I'm going to show you the pictures that I have of our garden over the last 2 years. I want you to have a look, because we started off with a couple of buckets of herbs out the front garden, and we've built this over, this is the 3rd year. Okay, so go have a look at that just for a minute. Got a competition going. Yes, we do. And that competition, because I reached 100 subscribers, I now have 109, and I love you all. Don't think I don't. That competition is to, you will receive a little packet of spice blend from each one of the videos that I have done for season 1 spice blends in my herb and spice blends videos playlist, which I'll put a link to. I will show you. I think there's 13 of them. Okay, pretty sure there's 13 of them. To enter this competition, you must put down below, oh, number 1, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. A genuine subscriber to the channel, not just someone who's coming for the giveaway. But you have to say how many trees it's going to take me to buy a piece of land with a house on it, so that I can have my nut farm. That's what you have to do in the comments below. Yeah. Then everybody who comments below with that little nugget of information will be put in a draw, and I will do that draw, and you will receive, wherever you are in the world, and it is wherever you are in the world. I don't care if you're living in Antarctica, I don't care if you're a polar bear in Alaska, I will send you a package with all the little spice blends in it. Just a little taster, just to see how it goes. Alright, so there you go. That's what we're going to do. So far on our way to the nut farm we have 32 sweet chestnut trees and 9 pistachio nut trees. We still need cob nuts, hazelnuts, pecan nuts, walnuts and almonds to kick off. I do want to do cashews and Brazils, but I cannot reasonably do those until we have the nut farm, because I'm going to have a tropical greenhouse. Yeah. But that's okay, because goals, nut goals. God, I love nuts. They're wonderful things. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. I love you guys heaps. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. And The bigger the goal, the bigger the dream, yeah, you got to work for it, but you know what? The more bonkers it is, the more likely it is to happen. I've seen it a million times. And I've had dreams, and I've done my dreams, and I've done the things. You know, I've worked in Michelin star restaurants, I've worked with some of the big chefs, I've cooked for the Queen. I've done so many things. And right now, this is my dream. This is my new dream. This is my new direction. It's to have my nut farm, nut, fruit and veg farm. And we're going to teach people how to cook, grow their own food in their own space. That's what we're going to do. And this is the first step. Anyway guys, I'm going to go. I love you guys heaps. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I'm really excited. Remind me of this when I'm having a down day, alright? Love you guys heaps. Bye. Blessings.